I'm sure they know and they don't want to hear from me. No, they don't know. Trust me. Speak up and say something. More than anything, I spent so many years with so much self doubt. I can't do this. I'm not. This isn't going to go well. You know, all of there was just a lot of time spent on doubt, and I think that if you can kind of early on block that out and just focus on moving ahead, that's very helpful. Number one. I think number two, and I hope, that this, maybe it was generational, and I hope that is gone for current generations. But the idea that, working hard and playing by the rules, if you will, is what gets you noticed. I'm not saying it isn't, but I am saying there that self-advocacy is important and that there's nothing wrong with speaking up for yourself, for what you believe in, for improvements in your environment. Everyone can come forward and tell you what's wrong. Anybody can do that, right? Not everybody can come forward and say, I see this issue, but here's a potential solution. And by the way, nobody's boss has the answer, right? That's what everybody's looking for. Everybody's looking for some solutions. And so if you kind of flip the switch and say, like, well, I don't want to, speak up and say, or I'm sure they know and they don't want to hear from me. No, they don't know. Trust me. Speak up and say something. People need to get comfortable kind of asking. And that took me a really long time. And I also think the other thing that took a long time that I would encourage people to do is you have to get really comfortable with asking and being turned down, because you don't lose a body part, you don't bleed, I mean, you may be, there may be a sting, you might feel a little embarrassed, but you're going to get over it. And it feels much worse not to ask and not to get than to at least ask, because I feel like when you ask, you're halfway there. Even if you don't get the whole thing, you get something, a consolation prize, something. And so that sort of the art of asking, and sometimes like go crazy. Think of all, my best negotiations ever are when I'm like, there's just no way they're ever giving me any of these things. So I might as well just ask for them all. And then you're like, look at that. And so that would be like, what's your fantasy ask list? Create it, and who knows?